Hi, this is Julie Thompson reporting from IAB's Digital Video Marketplace. I'm here with Brian Fuhrer, SVP of Product Leadership for Nielsen. Hello, Brian.
Hi, Joey.
Brian just got off the stage where he was talking about video everywhere in this new on-demand world and how that's changed, how the internet has changed television viewing habits and vice versa. Give us some headlines from your presentation.
Yeah, a couple things that we tried to cover in the presentation. One is the fact that the internet experience is really showing the consumer, or informing the consumer experience of television viewing. So that's one of the big trends that we see. The second thing is that this whole concept of television and digital is really blurring, and how people are accessing content and getting it to their television and across the different platforms is really going away. It's just people are consuming video. And then the third, with the expansion and flexibility that are being introduced in the business models, there's a lot more opportunities for cross-platform advertising.
So how do brands and publishers and agencies navigate this new world?
I think there's, the interesting thing is that any number of ways, and there's a lot of experimentation out there, a lot of creativity that's happening, and I think a lot of things that are being introduced that they can really engage with in delivering their content, and in particular across the different platforms that people can either experience, on one platform basis or simultaneously. And that's, one of the interesting trends we're seeing of how people are experiencing video on one platform and another platform at the same time. And that really represents a big opportunity for advertisers to connect the different screens and really enhance the experience.
And how does the fact that the heaviest digital video content streamers tend to be the lightest television watchers, what lessons are to be learned from that these days?
I think the key lesson is we have to be open to watching the trends and understanding how people are consuming video and seeing what happens over time. That might be a group that stays, a small group that stays completely static, or it might be one that expands. But what we've seen, particularly in the heaviest streamers that are very light television viewers, is they're generally consuming or going after content online that isn't available necessarily on television. So trying to understand, the people, if certain groups are underserved, or if content needs to be delivered through different mechanisms, that's might be opportunities for the content owners and content distributors.
It seems like measurement is certainly the topic of the day in terms of going from time spent, et cetera, to how do you advise clients of Nielsen on that issue?
It's not just a consumer issue and changing with new types of devices, new platforms. It's also new types of advertising and new developing ways that business deals are made. And we're really excited about some of the advances that have been made recently in the online space with online campaign ratings and some of the things that are happening there. But as I said in my discussion, I think really one of the most exciting things for content owners, content distributors, and advertisers is this concept of cross-platform campaign ratings, because it gives a lot of flexibility. It uses the existing television ratings, that the business models that they're used to, but coupling it with a lot of flexibility of how they attach advertising online. So I think there's a lot more to come about from that area, and I think it's a really big opportunity.
Yeah, one big theme that emerged was, as these lines continue to blur, at least you're listening to consumers and you're listening to the industry, and I think that's great. Any advice you'd give to content providers these days on how to navigate better?
Well, I think they're, in a lot of cases, doing a great job already, but one of the things I think the industry has collectively learned, that as opposed to coming up with products and trying to market it down to consumers, it's listening to the consumer, understanding what the trends in usage and viewing and consumption are, and figure out how to design products to better maximize that experience. That's what I think collectively the industry is doing, and I think with some really interesting results.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here, and we'll continue the conversation and we'll go back in the sessions.